If chords are confusing and you're relying on those chord books with thousands of chords, and when you found out that you can play C major in like 15 ways and you panic, then you should watch this video. Because it's the last video you're ever going to need to watch when it comes to chords. Let's begin, shall we? Now, as I teach this, I'm going to show you everything on 3 instruments. I'm going to show you on the guitar. I'm going to show you on the piano. And for all you EDM nerds out there, myself included, or game composers, myself included, I'm going to show you on MIDI. And I'm doing this because 1, I want to make this accessible to whatever instrument that you play. But 2, music really begins to make sense when you see it in multiple contexts and see how it chains together. So by showing it in 3 different ways, it's going to help it click for you. Now let's get started. So when we're learning about chords, we need to know 2 things. That's it. First, we need to know position. So that's like, this will make sense in a second. C, E, F sharp. That's position. Hold on just a second. The second thing we need to know is the shape. So that's like major or minor or, I don't know, 7 and sharp 9. Cool. And so when we put these things together, we get C major, E minor, F sharp 7, sharp 9. So let's start with position. Be gone! Gosh, this chair is so squeaky, I apologize. Anyway, when we talk about position, for today, we're only going to refer to that as a root note, which I will explain in a minute. The reason why I'm calling it position is because later on in a future lesson, this chair is so squeaky. In a later on lesson, we are going to look at things called inversions. But for now, position, root note are the same thing. And so to understand this concept, we need to touch on this thing called the chromatic scale. Ooh. And all the chromatic scale is every note within the Western music scale, which is 12 notes. And I like to specify Western because not all global world music follows this same structure, but chances are the music you listen to pretty much is only using this. And those notes are A sharp / B flat, B, C sharp / D flat, D sharp / E flat, E, F sharp / G flat, G sharp / A flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it just cycles back again. Now real quick, you may be wondering, well, why is A sharp and B flat? Like, why are those the same thing? Why is C sharp and D flat the same thing? Again, we're going to go into a future lesson on all of that. It's called enharmonic tones, and the purpose of those is like a music grammar, which will make more sense as we get into actually building chords within a key. For now, just wait until that lesson, but it's grammar. It makes sense in the future, trust me. I'm actually going to redraw this so it's linear. 1 second. Cool, so I redrew this, and now it kind of went from like A to A. You can go G to G, you can go C sharp to C sharp. Like, it literally doesn't have a start or an end. It's just as you go up, the notes get higher. As you go down, the notes get lower. And eventually you're going to run into the same note, just a higher version of it. We're going to hear what that sounds like in a second. So here's a guitar. We'll start on A sharp, B flat, B, C sharp, D flat, all the way up, 11, 12. Oh. So I'm playing this A, now I'm playing this A, 12, and then just repeat. So here's the next A sharp, B flat, same as this one. This one, B, same as this one. It repeats. Let's see it on the piano. So here's the piano. Here are my spooky socks, okay? And we're gonna start on A, and it's gonna repeat all the way over. So A sharp, B flat, B, C sharp, D flat, all the way up, to A. And you can tell it's A again because you see these three groups of black keys. Well, if it's a third one in. Three group of black keys, third one in. And this one here, first one of two keys, same as this one, that's C. Oop. Let's see it on MIDI. Here we go on MIDI, it's just a sideways keyboard, but same thing. We're doing a violin because we're feeling saucy. It's all the same. Now, all that said, we know that we can choose any of these to really start our chord, whether it's E major, or C minor. This is the first part. When you see a chord being called D major or F sharp minor, that letter at the beginning is showing what we're about to build this chord around, the case position. And you can see on the guitar, on the keyboard, on MIDI, it shows that literal position of what you're playing, like what note you're playing. So now let's move on to shape. And shape is the thing that gives it that characteristic. Like a major tends to sound happy and a minor tends to sound sad, and a diminished sounds like really weird. We'll go over a couple of these. So here we have shape, and now we're about to do some like formulas for those shapes. So for instance, the major triad formula is 4 half steps and 7 half steps, both from our original position. What's a half step? What is that? Very simply, it's just one note to the next. That's it. That's a half step. So if we want to do A major, check this out. We start at A, our position, and then we add the shape. 1, 2, 3, 4 half steps. Back to A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half steps. A, C sharp, E, that's A major. A, E, A, C sharp, E, A major. And yes, you don't have to play A, C sharp, E. You could play A, E, C sharp, have multiple ones. Those are called inversions. We'll get into that in a later lesson. But no matter what order you play it in, it's A major. To the piano. A, 1, 2, 3, 4, C sharp, back to A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, E, A, C sharp, E, A major. To the MIDI. Now I don't know about you, but Papa's feeling horny. So we're gonna use the horns. A, C sharp, E. Now let's say I don't want to play A major, but I want to play E major. Check this out. The shape remains the same because it's major. We just change the position. E major. Here we go. Check it out. Now we're starting, trying to zoom out, whatever. Now we're starting on E, Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 to G sharp. And then we go from E7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to A. 5, 6, 7. B, E, G sharp, B, E major. E, B, E, G sharp, B, E major. Oh my gosh, if you look though, check this out. This little bar here is the same shape as when I did it with A, except I didn't have to bar because it was over here. The shapes move with the position. That's why we call it position. And it's all major. Now we're running low on time, so I'm only gonna do this on the piano, but same thing with MIDI. Check this out. E, G sharp, B, E major. Watch, if I move this shape, boop, 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 there's A, C. Oh my gosh, position, shape, movable. So you don't need the chord books. All you need to know is the notes on your instrument and the shapes for the major, the minor, and all that stuff. That's it. Which means if you know one shape, like the major shape, you know 12 major chords as long as you know where the notes are on your instrument. So if you know A minor 7, you know B flat minor 7, C minor 7, D minor 7, D sharp minor 7. You just have to move it to the right position. That's it. Now in a future lesson, I'm gonna go into inversions, chord extensions, dominants, all sorts of crazy shit. But if this helped you and you wanna learn more formulas, 1, so it reaches more people, and 2, swipe that shit and follow me. I'm giving you music theory for free. because you deserve to make music.